Shalom, my precious sisters, brothers. I think since January, Lord woke me up in the middle of night, about sometimes 1 o'clock, sometimes 3 o'clock. So I was up for prayer about a couple of hours, praying in tongues. I don't really like praying in tongues because I love word. I love my confessions and conversation with the Lord. But praying in tongue, I hardly understand. Sometimes maybe my spirit praying something, summons or some circumstance, because I put those people in my prayer list, and my sister's mom, because she failed her lung and she was taken to hospital emergency with oxygen mask. And that time when she fell, when she collapsed, the sister's mom, the sister texted me, but I didn't see the text message until late afternoon. The time I sat on my desk for prayer for her mom, it was about actually 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I was reading and praying, but I started praying in tongue 10:15, because praying in tongue you need a lot of strength and energy. Because that day I had 3 meetings. I was chasing my sheep, so that I was tired. So when I started praying in tongue 10:15, within 15 minutes I received text message from her. She's saying her mom now started talking. Even the oxygen mask on her face, she was talking. And I was uplifted. And then I fell asleep about 4 hours. And I got up 3:20, and I was praying for 2 hours. And I messaged to this sister about early morning, how's your mom? Because I've been praying since 3:20. And she said her mom fully healed. She is stronger than before. This is a miracle, because her doctor Robert said you have to prepare her last, her end. And even doctor said, because her mom age 85, and in that age most elders passed away if they failed lung. But now her mom is stronger than before, and she got up. She was out of her bed in hospital and sitting in the reception from early morning, talking and chatting with the nurses. What a miracle! And Lord, He is faithful to faithful children. Firstly, we have to obey, and more than obedience is love. When we love the Lord more than money, more than family, more than your relationship, any your friendship, if you put Him first, when we love Him the most, the person's prayer is powerful. Especially when we pray in tongues, the Satan cannot steal away. So that's very powerful when you pray in tongues. Also, I don't know what to pray for myself. I pray for others. But I've been praying for, Lord, your will be done in my life. I've been praying for, Lord, let me fulfill your calling. That's all I pray for myself. And thank you for, thank you for providing what I need on earth. Not too rich, not too poor, exactly. Daily, he provided things, the what I need. He provided daily and monthly, and every season he provided through last year and since pandemic. Even if I lost my big supplier, I don't know how I survived during the pandemic. Without his support, it's impossible. I received many miracles of supply from the Lord. Anyway, so I was praying for one of brothers. He was a Christian, but he didn't practice quite a long time. And I was praying for Lord, his help for him. But strange things happen because he's struggling financially. And the time when my dad passed away, he does start calling for going back home in heaven. First time my dad wasn't Christian, and I wasn't strong enough in my faith. When my dad was near to death, Lord saved him, rescued him, spared his life. My voice is when my voice is gone like this, normally Holy Spirit really speaking and emphasizing this message. So that time Lord spared his life, but I wasn't strong enough in my faith, so I couldn't rescue him from his ignorance, his darkness, the darkness. I couldn't rescue him. But second time, when my dad was near to death, I rescued him, and he came to church, and he started the Bible study with me. So Lord gave him more years since that was 2018. So 2018, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 5 years. Lord gave him 5 more years. And he studied the Bible for 5 years. The time when my dad passed away, the third calling for going back home, I knew that this time he will go. Because I prayed this way, because my mom was wearing out, nursing my dad. My dad wanted hot food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So my mom had to cook fresh food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, every week, every month, every season, all the time. So my dad, he has very he had very high expectation for his meal. So my mom couldn't cope with my dad's expectation. And when I saw my mom was wearing out, I prayed the Lord, I don't want to lose both of them. If you think my mom is at her risk of her life, then Lord, you will prepare us to say goodbye to my dad. And within that prayer I did in July, in a month's time, Lord took my dad away. And it's for my dad too, because he was suffering after COVID more than a year. So that suffering finished and he's in heaven. Definitely I saw in my dream several times Lord confirmed my dad is in heaven. So that miracle happened. The sister's mom happened last weekend, and this week this brother was struggling financially. I was praying for him from 3 o'clock until 5:30. That was Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, it was Monday morning. And then I heard, Tuesday morning. And then I heard Tuesday afternoon, same day I prayed, Tuesday morning 3 to 5:30. And then Tuesday afternoon I heard this news. His father is near to death. I know in my spirit, Lord gave me several confirmations so that I can share it. I don't share the details of private things. All I know is Lord is helping this poor, his son, this poor brother, because he's struggling financially. And his dad, I believe he's near to age 90, and I believe he's a Christian. So it's sad to leave. It's sad to leave his dad. Whole family will be sad to say goodbye. I know how hard it was, but through that, this brother will receive some inheritance from his father. I believe that will be great help for his life. Without some of the money, at least we need some money for renting. When you go for a state agent to rent your 1 bedroom or studio room, at least you need 3 months rent front, or you may need proof you've got financial stability to show your bank statement. So when I rent my previous, long time ago, 10 years ago, when I rented that flat, I show my bank statement, 6 months bank statement, and I paid the 6 months rent in advance because I didn't have a proper job, so that I have to pay front. So that kind of we need assurance from God. We need that financial support from family or from any relatives. When Naomi become widow and her daughter-in-law also become widow, who helped them? It's Boaz. Boaz was their redeemer among her relatives, one of the closest relative who are wealthy, rescued their life on us. And Boaz married to this Ruth, and Ruth become great mother of King David. Was it grandmother or great mother? So that this is the God's his rescue. He rescue us, helping us, using our parents, using our relatives. That's the another miracle, because I just prayed for this poor brother for 2.5 hours in tongues. I don't know what I prayed. I promised him I'm praying. When I promised I will pray, I really pray sincerely. With my sacrifice, I sacrificed my sleep. And during the Bible study on Monday, this message, I don't know who needs this message. And he said masturbation is a sin, and if someone sin regular basis, have to pray, need power of Holy Spirit, power of Jesus' blood. We studied Genesis chapter 38. Judah, even if he was appointed to be he received the kingship from Isaac, from Jacob. When you read the book of Kezib and book of Jubilees, when Jacob returned from his uncle Laban, he stayed in Shechem for about 3 years, and he visited his father Isaac and his mother Rebekah. So they met after about more than 20 years time. And when they met, Isaac, when Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau, he couldn't really see. His eyes was nearly blind. But at that time, his eyes opened, and he saw his son Jacob, and he saw his grandsons. And Jacob took 2 sons among 12 from Leah. I shared about message about Leah. Leah was blessed, but she couldn't recognize. That's why her life was miserable. If you couldn't recognize your blessing, your life is miserable. But when you recognized, you will enjoy in that promise. And because of Leah, she received such a blessing through her children, but she can't really see because she was longing for her husband's love. If you are longing for something you desire on earth, you are not satisfied. But if you see when you receive the blessing more than your desire, you will enjoy your life more than before. And so that Jacob took Judah and Levi, these two sons he took with him and visited his mother and father. And Isaac saw his grandchildren and blessed Judah and Levi. He was holding Levi on his right hand. He was holding Judah on his left arm and blessed them. And they spent night together. And the next morning, when Jacob said, I have to go to Bethel to worship God during the time of tabernacle. It's written in Jubilee, book of Jubilee. It is tabernacle. That time, Isaac said, maybe I can't go, but maybe your mother, Rebecca, come with you. So Rebecca took his nurse, what's her name? Deborah. Rebecca and his nurse, Deborah, came along with Jacob. They had a wonderful tabernacle festival together. And then Jacob gave tithe, worshiped God, and gave God 1 in 10. That's what he promised to God when he had the first encounter at the battle. He fled from his brother, and the first night, about 50 miles from Hebron, so that between Hebron and this battle, about 50 miles. So I believe since he fled from his brother, God appeared to him straight away the first night, and he promised to God, when God promised to Jacob, I am your God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and I will give you this land. You will return this land. And Jacob promised, okay, if you provide clothing and food and security, if you watch over me all the time, and if you help me to return to my parents' house, then I will give you 1 in 10, and I will worship you as my God. And exactly, God promised, and God called Jacob, come to Bethel and worship me, set up the altar. And he gave this wonderful tabernacle with tithe, and he received this blessing from the Lord. And Rebecca, his beloved one, Rebecca loved Jacob more than Esau. And also Noah's son, I think Noah's son was Noah. Noah was alive until Abraham. I think Noah's son Sam. I think Sam loved Jacob. Oh, of course, Sam raised up Jacob's face. Jacob stayed the Sam's house. Noah's third son, the chosen one. And also Abraham, book of Jubilees said, Abraham loved Jacob more than Esau. It's not just only Rebecca, because Abraham was spiritual, he can recognize Jacob was the chosen one. And so Rebecca, she saw her beloved son, and after this tabernacle, Rebecca's nurse Deborah passed away, So Deborah passed away. She died there. Soon after, Rebecca died, and soon after, Rachel died. So that's the time 3 funerals went through when Jacob returned from his uncle's house. Also, God punished Uncle Laban because he broke the covenant between himself and Jacob, because he lied to Jacob's brother Esau. That's why Esau came to fight against Jacob with 400 men. It's written in our Genesis as well. So that what I'm saying is, I went too far. Judah made a mistake. Even if he received this kingship from Isaac's blessing and Jacob's blessing, and at the altar of this tabernacle at Bethel, Judah received this kingship. Levi received this the worshiping God. Levite that received this blessing, serving the Lord. So that's the Levite. So this blessing already they received from this Bethel, not from the Moses time, already Jacob's time in the book of Jubilee. And even if Judah received this kingship means leadership among 12 sons. But he made a mistake because he didn't rescue Joseph. And then he went kind of wandering up in the wilderness. And then he married to Canaanites. This is out of their parents, his patriarch, his father, his grandfather, great father is out of their order. He married to Canaanite woman. And it was sin. Sin caused bigger sin. And that reason, I believe, his first two sons were wicked. And first son was wicked. And Judah probably repented because of his wrong chosen wife. And he found this godly daughter-in-law from Noah's son Sam's descendants. That means chosen line. The Tamar was one of the descendants of Sam. And Tamar, so the first husband, God punished him, so he passed away. And second son had to serve his brother. But Onan, he just wanted sexual relationship for himself, but he didn't keep his seed to her. In God's sight, it is wicked. It said, verse 9, Onan knew that the child wouldn't be his, so whenever he slept with his brother's wife, Tamar, he spilled his semen on the ground to avoid providing offspring for his brother. So it is wicked. So then I learned this word, onanism. Onanism coming out from this Onan, who loved sexual relationship but didn't have children, didn't want to have children. So the Lord revealed this one a long time ago. Even if Christian, I don't believe Christian marriage, Christian couple don't want children. I don't believe that most Christian couple raise up Christian children. But some ungodly or ignorant couple, even if they are married, this married couple don't want children. I saw many young couple, they married but they don't want children. But in God's sight, it is sin, because God blessed Adam and Eve, the marriage bed. God blessed the marriage bed for sexual relationships, pleasure, for raising up children. So that without children, not raising up children, married couple sin against God's order, God's command. But what about some couple without marriage? They have children, they raise up children. I recommend just stop having fornication until their marriage. Now they have children, so that they can raise up their children in faith, and they can turn around from sin and stop having sexual relationship until marriage, so that you can be righteous. That's my understanding. Through this onanism means masturbation, so that even if you don't have a fornication, you don't have adultery, but you sin in your body, and Satan enjoy that. Satan can train on you, so that when you pray in tongue, when you pray that, when you receive the Holy Spirit, you will be out of this sin, because God created us in His character. What His character? His character is endurance, patience, holiness, so that God is perfect. So that Saint Paul and Peter emphasized, even if we have a faith, without holiness, without self-control, when we practice our self-control, the self-control produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character, the character of God. That's endurance and patience. And we can add more up to sacrificial love, mature affection, and sacrificial love. So that this is God's character He wants us to have within us. So that as a Christian, we're trying to be holy, trying to be disciplined, trying to be free from this worldly pattern of culture, of the fornication, of the all those sexual immorality. And how can we protect us from this worldly pattern of culture? We need to be separated from that. That's what God wants Abraham to be circumcised. Circumcision itself kind of something different from Gentiles. That's why Jewish people, that's their pride. They are different, something distinguishable, something different from the Gentile through circumcision. But we have this circumcision in our heart. So how we can prove we are circumcised in our heart? We are distinguishable. We are how we can prove it? We are godly. We are little saint, little disciple. How we can prove it? I believe we can prove through practice. So the Holy Spirit will speak. Holy Spirit will help us. I believe He will cut it out, something dark, something ungodly in our heart, so that we can control, we can protect our body holy. God bless you. See you again. Bye.